Spread the word, spread the news. Like,
welcome everybody to our podcast. This is the Valentines special, and we have a great couple here, Buck Dallas and Tokyo.
They're not actually a couple. You have to,
They're
couple
a
of
couple
friends.
tonight. You know what I mean?
Oh
So-
my goodness.
Yeah. And I have to just give you some news. You guys don't know, but Val has like 2 weeks to live.
What?
So
God.
hopefully she dies on the podcast. That'd be great.
For the views
For the views.
and the likes. That
And
is
the
so.
likes.
You just wish death on somebody on Valentine's.
No, well, you know, it's like a biggie.
All right,
So-
Buck. For
Mhm.
those of you who don't know, Buck Dallas is the owner and creator and design mind behind Infinite Furniture, which I'm sure you've seen in many events.
Infinite
we
Many.
And then we have Sweet Tokyo, who is nothing short of an influencer and blogger and manager of Epiphany, right?
I do some work for them, but I don't like manage anything. I just kind of look out for
Should have done your
good
homework, Val.
good designers and stuff like that.
She
But
does manage.
it's a great team. It's a great team, and I'm happy to do whatever little work I could do for them.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. There you go, Nesto. See, you're off
I
the
love
hook.
the uniqueness of Epiphany because it's gacha only, right? And it,
Mhm.
you know, it's
Yeah,
Well-
Tokyo got me.
it's like
into
I want
Epiphany, as a
that
matter
car,
of
but I
fact.
could. Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Tokyo got you. Is that what you said?
you can they can sell fat packs too, so it's not just gotchas. But yes.
When did they start doing that? Because it was not always that way.
Oh God, I want to say like half a year ago, or maybe more.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like pretty recent that they allow you to do that. But I have fallen victim to gachas when like I can't play them anymore. I
Fun
just haven't
fact,
done
I've
them.
only ever played like maybe 2 or 3 gotchas ever.
Do you remember them?
One of them was I do. One of them, I know the last one I played was the Thirst gotcha, and I think
What
it
was the
like,
rare that you were going
it was
for?
it was the Poindexter. It was like the slutty Poindexter outfit. Yeah. I
Did you
wore it
get
for a
it?
while too. Remember, I used to wear it with the Imagination Dragon hat. Yeah, I wore it for a good 6 months.
Can I tell you, when Buck finds an outfit, he will not take it off.
Oh yeah.
Like, do you remember that tracksuit he would not take off when
I
it
met
came
him-
out?
Oh yeah.
I met him in that tracksuit.
He would not get rid of it.
I loved that tracksuit. That was a Tiller tracksuit. Love Tiller, and it was a great. It was
Shout
just
out
a
to
great
Tiller.
look. Yeah, shout out to Tiller. That was a great look. Like I rocked that look, and nobody wore that tracksuit as well
Because you
as I
threatened
did.
them.
No,
He
I
did.
didn't threaten
He did.
anybody not to wear it. Maybe one person.
You did threaten them.
I just think that I overall looked better in it than everybody else.
You did look really good in it, though.
Yes, you did. I
Um,
can agree.
but yeah, even though Nesto likes to say Valentine's, it's our Valentine's Day episode, which I think is extra special. The studio is decorated really nicely, lots of pink and lots of red and lots of flowers. And this episode, I think we're gonna dive into like, well, a little bit about like what each of you
Love.
do, but love and relationships and real life and second life and all of everything in between, really. So this
I'm
is different.
excited.
Yeah.
Everything between the
different for us.
sheets.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh God, I'm nervous. I'm
This
nervous.
I'm
podcast
not.
is gonna be spicy.
I'm not. I'm a whore, so
All right. You're not okay. Well, you're whatever. you want
Podcast
to be.
exclusive. He's-
We don't slut
What's a
shame
whore?
here. It's okay.
yeah, don't slut shame.
So yeah, Tokyo, I want to ask you a little bit more about blogging, because I think that's how a lot of people know you, is from like your amazing pictures. They're always really artistic. I love the colors. Like there's always energy in them. Where do you find a lot of your inspiration? Or does a lot of it come from having sponsors and being like, oh, I have to blog this and this? Or how often do you get to just do whatever you want?
I actually had given up blogging for a little while and got a chance to do more of what I wanted. I I usually go based off of a feeling. If I'm, real happy, then I'll try to do some happy pictures. But mostly nowadays, it does, have a lot to do with what I have available to me.
Yeah.
But I like to keep it in the same sort of feel, vibrant colors. I just love, being able to portray some sort of emotion through my art. And I thank you for the compliment.
No,
How
it's
long does it
awesome.
take for you to do your photo? Like a while,
Oh,
right?
from can from like the concept to all the way
Mhm.
to probably a couple days because it takes me about 4 hours just to shoot because
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
have to get the lighting right and the shadows and all that, and then I go into editing afterwards. So yeah, it's a
I,
couple days work.
I know this firsthand because I was like Joe Biden, and you had a friend,
Oh
and,
yeah.
and we were snuggling for the picture, and it was like we're trying to do it for the shot, right? And it was like 4 hours of that. And I was like, okay, now it's getting weird, you know.
I know. I made you
Because you were
sit on
there
his
for so
lap for
long.
a really long
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
First it was funny, and then like 2 hours later, I'm like, okay, this is getting, you know.
It was a little bit
Mhm.
awkward.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Have you
but
ever?
when she
Cozy
even
though.
with what was that, Val?
Oh no,
No, I said you
you
looked real
go.
cozy.
Yeah, yeah, I did, and old. I looked old and cozy.
So just a typical day for you. I was wondering though, do you blog for any? Do you
Oh
blog for
my
any like
god!
big
A shot
events?
from the anemic spider monkey.
Stop!
Yeah,
I forgot you call me that. That is so awful. The
that's pretty
anemic
sad.
spider monkey. It is kind of true though. No,
You
I
know where I got that
wanna.
from?
What?
Because like we were doing the collab with horrors, the horrors, was it the floats? And you were like doing the sexual poses with Jason, right?
Oh, that was
And
one of
your
the best days
little
of my
poodle
life.
ass, yeah, yeah, yeah. She has a big crush on Jason, and she's trying to convert Jason.
Who's
And
1,000% gay. I'm just gonna put that out there. It's just a
yeah,
joke. I don't actually.
so like they were like doing the sexual poses, and she looks just like I said in the last podcast, it was just like a wet poodle. It was just very, just it was weird.
Thanks,
Those
Nesto.
there you go.
Thanks.
You know how you baste a wet chicken? That's how it was same. That was
That
same
was
feel.
me on the float.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was.
Oh my god, I'm never gonna get to ask her this question.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. No. In all seriousness though, I do
Mhm.
want to know what events do you blog for? If you even blog for them anymore, and then which is your favorite? You
No,
don't
you
have to
can't say your
say
favorite.
why. You don't have
So,
to say her worst.
Yeah, but
Say your
That's
worst
different.
too.
I know, Buck's like, let me
give me
tell
the
you
tea,
my worst
bitch.
event.
Yeah, for real.
oh, I do blog for some events currently. Access, I do their cyber fair as well, and
I love their aesthetic.
yes, me
Yeah.
too. It
Hmm.
Hmm.
definitely hands down is like one of my fave. The way they have everything set up, and it's
Yeah,
just a
it's like Tron,
spectacle.
right? Is
I
that their
I
motivate?
Hmm.
I
Tron.
just have to I have
Okay.
to 100% agree. Like big shout out to Access. They
Mm.
have the
Yeah.
most organized, one of the best teams. They're super professional. I love the Access team. Sylvia,
Yes,
Teresa, everybody involved. They're just
Are you in
romance.
yeah.
excess? Are you
They
in
just
that
have a
event?
really good team.
Yeah.
He's like,
Okay.
"Ahem."
Ahem. All
I
right.
think y'all have
So,
Buck on the access, right?
No, it
Well,
makes
no,
a difference.
I'm in Happy Weekend, so I work with their team. Like,
yeah.
Right, right,
yeah,
right.
it's a good. They have a really
They're
good
amazing.
team. It does make a difference.
You're in Happy Weekend too, Nesto. You know that?
Yeah, I do.
He does.
By the way, Access, if you're listening, he wants to be in Access.
Just
In Infinimini Furniture.
hint.
I, my schedule can't handle access right now.
Oh.
No, but I do appreciate the organization. You don't
Mhm.
see
Yeah.
that everywhere, but all
Yeah.
of my experiences with these events have been really positive. Like I've never had any issues.
Hmm.
It's always been so well organized and really a good experience. I've never had a bad one, truthfully. And I'm not even just saying that.
So, to answer your question, we got so
Yeah.
off topic.
Sorry.
All right,
Sorry,
that's
we're
okay.
professional.
So I also do the Epiphany, of course, and I do the Crystal Heart. Though we didn't get a
I
chance to
love
have
the
one.
crystal heart.
I know, and
Oh.
that's what I was gonna say. It's one of my favorites, not because I like any of the others any less. You know, Epiphany is always gonna have a special place in my heart, but I am a Sailor Moon fan, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the Crystal Heart is just takes the cake, you know.
What is Sailor
Also,
Moon?
it's just you'd have to look it up to know. It's an entire way of life.
Yes.
Also,
Mhm.
also, if you're not really into that, like in your day to day, like I'm not, you go to the Crystal Heart event, and you're like, oh, I
Yeah,
am
it's just
Sailor
fun.
Moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
fun. It's
Yeah.
so fun. Even if you're not like
Okay.
a big fan of it, if you've never watched it or don't really know, um,
Mhm.
just
And I
going
think
there, you
like
totally feel the vibe and like all the
Mhm.
outfits, and they're so fun. It
and I think
really
like a lot
inspires
of
you.
the stuff at Crystal Heart is like limited edition even too. Like I think it's like
Yeah, exclusive to
actually
that event.
exclusive to Crystal Heart, I think.
Mhm.
When you
Yeah.
say that, I'm just thinking of crystal meth.
No.
No.
Imagine
Nothing to
imagine like
do.
gems and space and pink and pastels, but also really sexy.
Yeah.
I can't even explain it to
I
you. I
feel
really
like
can't.
that's why the show
We'll
Steven
have
Universe
some
is
like
so good because
references.
it's kind of I feel like Steven Universe is a good amalgam of like current cartoons with that like Sailor
Mhm.
Moon sort of vibe to it.
I didn't know that you did that. See, I'm learning something new today.
Yeah.
I love
There's
when
going to
like
be a new
SL
one
does
this
a whole
year,
bunch of
so
themes.
There
yeah.
is?
Ooh,
Mhm.
drop it, drop it, drop it.
Yay.
I believe it's in I believe it's in July. But they had to skip last year, so I'm really excited for it to come back, and yeah, look forward to
Yay!
it.
Can we insert applause right here?
Ooh, exclusive.
That's awesome. I'm so excited. Save your
You know, my
Lindens, you
hands are so
crooks.
big. Like when I clap, it feels like two ass cheeks are just flopping together.
Jesus. He's not kidding either.
Right? Like when I was clapping, it was like pop, 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 pop. Yeah.
Oh my God, relax.
Can we just like interview horrors and then not talk to Buck and then torture him?
No, I'm fine. I'm chilling.
No, Buck is so
Mm.
chill. He is so
By
chill
the
right
way,
now.
hey Vale, I got to stop the show because I got to say this. By the way, thank you so much for doing our show in last minute. You know, we had a cancellation, and you guys are like the best of friends to, you know, make this show really great. You know what I mean?
Aw,
So thank you, Buck
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
and Tokyo.
Hmm.
Yeah, we're super happy to have you. I was so excited like when I TP'd in here and I saw Buck in the studio. I'm like, "Wait, what?" Yes. And then I knew that you were going to come.
Mhm.
So I already like
Yeah.
expected that. I was so happy. But Buck was a surprise for sure.
Yeah.
Um One thing I always like to ask, I always like to know like the good and the bad of stuff. What stresses you out the most about manage for Rock managing events and for Buck participating in the events? Like what stresses you the most without putting anybody down, of course, cuz we're not
Uh,
that
We're gonna
kind of
edit it.
show. But just
well,
from experience, like what's the most challenging thing?
I think it's something that's challenging across the grid in general, which is communication and having clear reply from people sometimes when it comes to, you're dealing with something to do with business or even in relationships. just having an open line of communication, being clear, being cordial, respectful. I mean, all of those things.
What a segue.
That was
Yeah.
a good segue.
What a segue. It's almost like she works here. I love that. No, it's true.
Yeah.
I think that's just one of the biggest challenges of human beings in
Yes.
life.
Yes.
And I
And,
think it
you
gets
know,
exemplified on the game.
there's something unique about SL that a lot of the conversation takes place in chat. So you lose a lot of like the tone and context
Mhm.
and miscommunication can happen so quickly if you're not careful. So I think that's a big point of frustration for a lot of people.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
could agree with that.
We're
For
on the same
me,
page,
I
Buck.
don't really get a lot of stress with the events. I just do my thing. And I just am because of that communication thing, I think the people who I've worked with would definitely say that I am overly communicative because if I'm putting my stuff out the day that it's going to open or something, I'm messaging the person 2 days in advance and like sending them updates and like cuz I hate leaving people in the dark.
Yeah. You're
Mhm.
you set up quickly though, Buck. I mean, I've seen you in action. Nesto and I with CRX with Crooks, we're usually like the early birds. Like we love the early setup. We just want to get it done out of the way. Like we don't think about it after. But I've seen you set up really quick, Buck, and it's always like a whole ensemble. Like you will set up a whole room for your booth. I don't even know how you do it, but it always looks
Well,
good.
that's the whole thing. You got to do a whole vibe.
Dedication. Yeah. You have a strong work ethic and it shows in your brand.
Aw.
Oh,
Thanks. Thanks.
cute.
I
Plus,
love
you can
that.
fuck.
Look at
Plus, you can
Buck
fuck on his furniture
blushing.
for like 2 hours. By the way, can we mention that
Yeah, Buck, is there anything you want to tell us about
the fucking?
Oh, well, if you are in a relationship, or you know what, we'll rephrase it. If you're in relations, with
Relations.
someone,
Mhm.
uh,
Very
yeah,
slutty.
I have made it, part of what I do to kind of bridge the gap between those. I've said this for since I started doing it, is there's those cruddy old marketplace beds that are like, but they have these awesome menus in them for, if you want to have sex or do anything, there's all sorts of options in those beds. So I've tried to bridge the gap between that and
Mhm.
actual quality,
Mhm.
Second Life furniture. So I do have I just upgraded some of my sofas to the 4-hour
Oh, four
animation
hours.
engine.
Can we
Yes.
get applause in the
Jesus.
studio?
You can
Yeah.
have a full
Clap those
marathon.
ass
Yeah,
cheeks.
you
Clap
can
those
there
ass
is
cheeks.
a
Yeah.
two, I believe it's an hour and a half of
Mhm.
solos and cuddles and 2.5 hours of sex.
That's
So
perfect for SL movie nights too.
yeah, it is. And the what, I'm losing my train of thought. The sofas even have like a male, female, male, male, like it's got both. So
See, the thing is, what's great about your couch, like say you got a couch and it's like 4 hours of fucking, right? If I had your couch, I last like 2 minutes. So I would have your couch for like 3 years and everything would be brand new.
yeah, that's the idea, is that
It's a
it is
new
2.5.
experience every
It's-
Yeah,
time
it
for
is two
him.
and a half
yeah,
hours, but yeah, you can kind of hop in the middle and
yeah.
just like,
I could
find something that
last.
you like.
Do you think there's
Soon,
people that use the full 2 hours?
I'm sure.
Oh,
You
hey,
Soon,
think?
fingers crossed,
can
I'm working with the developers of Avsitter. So fingers crossed, soon we'll see something that's like a favorites menu. I'm not
Wow.
very good with scripting, but
fingering?
I would love to have a favorites menu as part
Mhm.
of the Avsitter system where you can set favorites.
Finger food.
Yeah,
You gotta get that for
fingering.
Nesto's grill. He has a whole list of favorites he could probably cook up. That would
Yeah,
be fun.
Mm.
Mm.
He's
you
not
know that's
interested.
yeah. There's I think you have some fingering animations, right, Buck?
Oh,
I mean, yeah, obviously.
You know. Let me tell you this, and this
If
is
you want to
like
take your girl to Finger Plowtown, I guess.
I'm gonna tell because we look after our audience. You know what I mean, and we give them like medical advice. So I'm gonna give you all
I
some
don't think
medical
you're
advice.
allowed to
oh
do
my
that
god.
legally, but
so
you know,
Disclaimer.
to
So
me,
let
a
me tell you this.
disclaimer right
don't.
here,
No,
like
No,
none of this is
I'm gonna
true.
sell. I'm gonna sell your couch. So with Buck's newest couch, which I think it's Happy Weekend, you can do some finger animations, correct?
Yes.
So with the finger animations, what you do is you put some lemon juice on their
Oh my
fingertips,
god.
and then you start up the starter, right? And if she screams, then she has a sexual disease.
What?
And
What?
yeah. So, anyways, when she
Who
does that,
taught you this?
Second.
Where is
Okay.
this
If
going?
if I didn't know that you had if I didn't know that you had a medical background, I would say you're shitting me right now. But now I'm like really concerned that you're right. Like,
She's like, "Am I gonna go get some lemon juice after the show?"
but see,
are you
Dude, put the lemon juice down. Put the lemon juice down. Don't put the lemon juice anywhere near you.
the thing
How can you
is
tell
that
them that?
when you're on Infinimini couch, start with the fingering, and if she can't get past with the fingering, then go for
Oh
the rough
god.
stuff. You know what I mean?
That's how you're gonna
So,
tell them to test it out is with
so there you
lemon
go,
juice.
crooks. Some medical advice.
No, please. Disclaimer across the bottom. Ticker, please.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh my
can I let me
gosh.
ask? Let me
Please
ask.
consult with your doctor if you think you have a venereal disease.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
venereal,
Finally, a voice
venereal,
of reason. Who would have thought it would have come from Buck, but okay.
Vertimamarial.
Right.
venereal.
You know
Hey,
something's wrong whenever I'm the voice of reason.
Yes.
yeah,
For
true.
real.
Can I ask Buck a question? Buck, have you ever smashed on your furniture?
Yes. It's funny.
How often are
Yeah,
you? Is it rare?
it's funny. I
Mm.
actually hadn't until
Mhm.
recently, but I was, being
What?
adventurous. Yeah, yeah.
Do you
I
have
was
them
your
just being
posed
own?
and then smash them?
I was just no, like with another second lifer. I'd never really done it very,
Mhm.
I'd done it here and there, and I was like, you
I've
know what?
never done it.
A
Let
top
me
consumer.
explore. I just wanted to explore that world of Second Life, and
Well, I
it
Was
was
guess
he
if you
fun.
like?
create for it,
It was
I
fun.
guess
Shout
that
out
makes
to
sense.
no, I won't say his
Yeah,
name.
Tell him your
Oh
name.
No,
Tell him
I
the
my
name.
won't.
god.
I won't say his name.
Yeah, his stock will go up. Was he like your bestseller?
No, no. There's nothing. There's
Oh
no
my
further.
gosh.
There's no further. No further comment.
No further.
Hey,
All
do
right.
you have a piece of furniture that sells more than all others?
Good one.
I would
Tokyo,
have to
get
check.
out.
I mean, I would have to check, but the magic of technology is that I can literally just check right now. If I had to guess, it would be the sofa that I actually have on sale this weekend. I made it in some more
Good
colors. I
plug.
released it like a year ago.
We're making Cubs so much money. Or
Well,
Buck.
no, no. The real truth for me is that, uh, especially why I love Happy Weekend is because it gives you, you know, you get caught in this weird place whenever you're a creator that you don't want to take advantage of people,
Mhm.
but because you really, the whole point is you want to share what you do with the world, and so Happy Weekend's really nice because you get a chance to really, create something cheap that a lot of people can get
Mhm.
their hands on. And I even got a message from somebody yesterday. They were like, oh my god, I love it so much, thank you, I put it in my living room, and it's
That
just
didn't
like,
happen. Mhm.
yeah, it was just super. It
You're
did
such an
happen.
asshole.
It did happen. Somebody messaged me mean. Mean.
No, I believe it. And you know what, Buck? I like that too. And I also like that they give you the opportunity to do a recolor, which I love seasonal colors and I know it's kind of weird, but I like seasonal colors. So like if I wanted to put a recolor out of something, you want it to be like fall tones or summer.
Mm-hmm.
Um like we did like an AirPod pack And I was like, I want to do something for summer. I forgot what event we were in. But they allow you to do recolors, which I think is really cool, and it allows you to dip a little bit into being more creative without having to go all the way and create a new item if you don't want to. But
Yeah.
also be able
Yeah,
to
I
create something
agree.
small if you want to as well, which
But
is always
but
nice.
I really what I'm saying though is really like my true favorite part is that so many people get a chance to get it that it just like is
Yeah.
it's one of those things where it's so exciting to know that so many people are interacting with something that you created. I'm
Yeah.
sure I mean I'm sure Tokyo that you can relate like whenever you
Yeah.
put up a blog post that it's like it's so exciting to get that feedback from people and like know that you know the whole point of art is that it's supposed to make you feel something. If you've made someone feel something, then you've done your job. You know.
Yeah.
Tokyo, how many people masturbated to your photos?
Oh my gosh.
Probably a lot. Have you seen your Flickr, Tokyo?
Yeah, it's a penthouse magazine over there.
Link will be down below you guys in the
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
good.
yeah,
description
yeah,
for those of
I
you who want to pause and take a look.
Yeah,
yeah,
if you just want
yeah,
to
yeah.
pause, take a
Pause.
look, and take a hook, honey.
Yeah,
oh gosh.
I think
We
you and Buck has a. I think you and Buck have like something in common because a lot of people probably masturbated to your photos, and a lot of people masturbated to his furniture. So
mm.
you guys are the perfect
Well, I
guest.
mean, I would hope somebody's masturbated to my photo before too.
No, let's come on. You're a ginger, for fuck's sake.
Stop
I'm
calling
not a
him that.
ginger. Attention, audience. I'm not a ginger. You could check out my Tumblr at. No, I won't say.
Go ahead.
Oh
Go
my
ahead.
gosh.
Go ahead.
Nesto has been
Just
calling
plug it
Buck a
all.
ginger all night. We're not sure why or where he's getting this from, but in his head, this is
From my
what it is.
sources.
But anyway, Tokyo, go ahead with what you were saying.
Oh no, I was just saying that, we are sexual beings, and I'm very kind of open. I do talk a lot about things like polyamory and stuff like that with my friends,
Ooh.
and I just, I don't think it's anything that we should be ashamed of. And if I could spread some joy and spark some joy in other people in that way, that's fine.
What's
I don't know
Hell yeah.
how,
polyamorous?
but
Yeah, you're gonna have
oh,
to slightly. This is also a little bit
What's a
educational,
polyamorous?
minus the lemon juice. Do you feel like it's something more and more people are talking about now, like
I
having,
do.
or
I
is
do.
it been something that's gone on for a very long time and is just now kind of like catching spotlight? And
I think
why?
more people are becoming open to it just because of the shift in how things are nowadays. Lots of independent women, lots of women making choices to have children later on. And it's opened up a lot of the conversation to what it's like to be a modern woman, what it's like to have a modern relationship. And um, I don't really want to go on like a whole spiel right now because it's such a deep talk, and I think we would need a whole other show to like go into it.
No, that's
But
okay. Say what you want.
in reality, I think that you know, we tend to forget that we weren't really this way always. Monogamy didn't come about till a lot later. We were nomadic tribes. We raised children together. We
Hmm.
There wasn't a paternal, test back then. So I just have this idea in my head, and it's not for everybody. And I respect people who don't live this way or don't agree with me, but I do think that monogamy doesn't come natural to us, and I think it's caused a lot of issues with the way that we live.
I totally feel that. I'm like
Yeah.
all about that free love life. Because,
Mhm.
and you know what I think a part of the reason that it's so acceptable in today's society is that think about the 60s. The 60s was like the era of free love, and all the people who were young in the 60s have kids now who are grown adults, and they're the kids of the free love, of
Mhm.
the free love era. So it's like
True.
it's spread throughout the nation and throughout the world, really, that you know,
You know
it's
what
free
I
love
kind of think
time.
is interesting is that can one person, and this is just a question across the board really, because I believe the answer is yes, but some
Mhm.
people would disagree. But do you think one person can do it all for you? Or do you think just like in a family, it takes more than one? Maybe one person has a bunch of qualities but is missing out on some, and then the others, it's more of a, I don't want to say communal type of
Mhm.
thing, but kind of like, I don't know. What would you even call that? Not teamwork.
So here's the thing.
Teamwork.
People
Val
people
needs
are
teamwork to get her little kitty cat going.
Jeez.
people are multifaceted, right? So
Right.
you are not always going to feel like this type of person. Sometimes your mood will change and you will wish you had someone who maybe was a little more lighthearted or, wasn't so serious all the time. Or maybe you are going to have a feeling like, hey, I want to be a little more goofy today, and your partner isn't so much that way. And so, in that sense, maybe not, but it is possible to have an entirely functional monogamous relationship with one person and be an adult about it and be respectful about it. But that doesn't mean that your idea of polyamory is shifted. That's not something that you can shake from yourself if you are that way. But you can be totally and completely happy in a relationship with one person. You just are going to be aware that, there are certain things that this person may not do for you, and that's okay. And if you choose to live without them because you love this person that much, or you
Right.
have better things to do with your time, you guys have adventures to go on and goals to meet, then that's
So
respectable.
what was your and you could speak on it if you want to, and Buck, you can chime in if you're familiar as well. And Nessa,
He's
I know
not.
you don't even know what's going on, but what was
I
your
don't.
first exposure? What was your first exposure to that? Because I remember this was a very long time ago, and I remember watching a movie, and I think it was like with Blake Lively, and she was dating two brothers at the same time.
Blake Lively. Jeez.
Do you know what movie I'm talking about?
Oh,
No.
I think I do.
And they
I
were like,
really do. I kind of remember that movie.
they were two brothers, and they were both super different. One was like a hippie surfer, the other was like military type. But anyway, she was in a relationship with both of them at the same time. And that was the first time, and the only, I think, one of the only in a while that I had even seen anything like that. Um, but what was your first exposure to that? And how
Wait,
did
how
it
did that
change your
movie make
way?
you feel, Val? I
What
feel
do you
like you're
mean?
like, ooh, because
No,
like you
you just don't
remembered
see
that
it.
movie.
Listen, because the only other
Yeah, but
times that,
like, did it spark your curiosity?
first of all, the cast was great, and I think Selma Hayek was in it as
The
well.
cast was great. Oh,
The
she's hot.
cast, yeah,
I like it, Sam Hayek.
so the cast was really good, but you normally don't
Okay.
see relationships with more than just two people, unless it's like they're raiding a polygamy ranch or
Or
whatever it
like,
is,
or it's like a comedic
Polygamy
value.
Ranch.
So, okay,
Polygamy
so
Ranch.
to answer your question, I grew up in San Francisco. So,
Oh, you scared me. I thought you were going to say you grew up in a polygamy ranch.
no. No.
We'll save that
No.
for next time you'll be on. Okay.
So there's a polyamory and there's polygamy, and they're different. Like, polyamory means you can love more than one person, which is what I believe. Polygamy is like
Mm.
like one
You're married
person
to
is
more than one.
married to multiple people,
Right.
and that's not
You
the
have
same
like
thing.
three
That's
13-year-olds.
It's not the same thing as you
Right.
allowing yourself and your partner both to experience love fully with multiple people. It's not the same thing as you marrying one person and that person can marry a bunch of other people and not you. Like, they're
Right.
completely
Mhm.
different.
Right.
So I
Right.
do want to make that dif- differentiation there.
Distinction.
Yeah, like,
Distinction.
distinction. Thank you. And so, when I grew up, I was exposed to polyamory because of my uncle. I didn't know it at the time, but he, like, I was happy. I was a kid. We were running around. They let us do kind of whatever we wanted. We're always playing, making movies, doing all kinds of stuff. And in the background, he was having, several people in his life that took care of
Mhm.
us and they were kind to us. And I didn't comprehend it and it didn't really sink in
Right.
until a
Mhm.
lot later. But
Mhm.
the moment that I had my epiphany of where like I actually felt that I was this way was when I was 19. I would say I had my first real relationship, and he was
Mhm.
amazing. He was a really great boyfriend. I was going to art school, in San Francisco. It's fucking expensive. He took care of me like financially, and he also
For sure.
was
Sugar
Buck
daddy.
likes that.
okay. Well, he was
Wah,
he was
wah.
there for me in many many ways,
Many
but then
ways,
he
yeah.
cheated on me, right? And me being like super proud and coming from growing up with a bunch of independent women raising me, then I was, of course, not okay with it. And
Right.
I left him. And then I felt really, really sad. And I was sort of like just, of course, heartbroken, but also confused. Like, why couldn't I forgive this person for this one thing when he's in general just really great in every other aspect? So I think that's when it clicked for me that, hey, maybe it was something that he was missing and he went about it the wrong way. But if I could live with this, knowing that maybe I'm not going to fulfill every aspect of his needs, then why wouldn't I still be able to stay with him? I didn't, like, that was over, and my life moved on and everything, but that's kind of where
But it
I
caused
had
you to think.
yeah, it caused me to
Mm.
think, like, I could have been
Hmm.
really happy if I could have just gotten over this one thing.
But I think it goes back to what you were saying too, which is communication. And that
Yeah.
if he had communicated with you,
Yes.
and that maybe the outcome wouldn't have been that way, but that it could have been a conversation, or maybe it needed to happen that way for you to like
Realize.
recognize,
Yeah.
right, recognize your feelings, which is really interesting.
Yeah, exactly. And so now I'm older, I've had experiences. I have had, an actual relationship where my boyfriend had a girlfriend and it was fine, and like I can tell you there are other struggles when you have relationships like that you don't foresee, and it's mostly like it's so different because when you're in a relationship with one other person and you guys break up, you deal with your heartache and they deal with theirs. But
Mm,
when you're in a relationship with someone who has another someone and like they break up, then you're there for the heartbreak. And you do see, like, watching my boyfriend get his heart broken by his other girlfriend was like the hardest thing I've ever done because there wasn't anything I could do to take that pain away. And so
Mm.
it's a different dynamic. You still have struggles and you do deal with jealousy. It's not to say that like polyamorous people aren't jealous, but you have your rules. You have your, just like you do in a monogamous relationship, you have your like things that you're willing to do for each other, things that you ask of each other to make sure that everything is like clear.
right.
And yeah.
Do you guys think that, and this is for both of you, do you guys think that people are more willing to explore sex and relationships on Second Life way more than they do in real life? Because I was looking at, I think, the Facebook newsfeed of like SL, which is a mistake. But you're scrolling
I thought it
through.
was more intellectual. I thought you could be
I
like, I was
I
looking at
honestly
grabs of people
I
fucking.
love Second Life Facebook. It's way more
It's
interesting than
it's
my
it's
real life
fun.
very
Facebook.
interesting. But I
It's
saw
really
this thing
fun.
where you're supposed to like mark where you are on the scale of like hetero to homo, like
Oh,
monogamous to poly.
yeah.
Do you know, I was shocked at
You're,
how very few straight and hetero people there are, but
Yeah.
also like how so many people were like picking poly, and I'm like,
Yes.
this is like, is this a trend or a theme, or are people just like expressing what they've always felt, and then they're able to be more honest about it and explore it in the game a little bit? What do you guys think
this
about
knocked
that?
like Val off a rocking chair, by the way. People are poly and homo in here.
I mean,
I
I
dropped
think
my
that there's
bedazzler gun.
I mean, really though,
She-
there's just
yeah,
so
she-
many. There's so many ways to be in love with someone now. Like, and
Yeah.
that's
You're
a good
right.
thing. Like, you
Yeah.
know, there's so many ways to show love for someone. You
Mhm.
can be in a friendship with someone and love them. You can be with multiple people and love them.
Mhm.
You can love somebody who's in charge of you. You know, there are so many ways to love someone, and I think it's great, personally. I mean,
And you got the furniture for it. So if
yeah.
anybody
Mhm.
needs help
No.
exploring, they can go to Infinite Furniture.
Infamimony. No, I like for me, like I very much like for me, like I am in like kink lifestyle. Like
Mhm.
I'm on
Mhm.
another side of that spectrum. Like I very much think that you can have a very happy and healthy relationship and have it be, you know, kink protocol oriented.
What does that
Mhm.
mean?
Like, you know, like you have somebody that's in charge and there's
I'm an angel.
rules
I don't
and
know what you mean.
My badge is dry.
Uh,
Nobody travel on this desert for a while.
Well, when you
Shut the
leave the Sahara, you can go to Vegas
Right,
and find
bitch.
out.
Ride it out. No,
Yeah.
but what do you mean by what were you saying? Like
What do you
Like
mean
for
by
people
what?
who
sex?
have mind you, I think on Second Life it's a little I'll say this. I think that you can have a very happy and healthy relationship with a dom and being a sub and, you
What are
know,
you, a dom or a sub?
all of that. I'm a little of both, you know. I'm whatever
I'm
uh
whatever he wants me to be.
well,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
no. I think that realistically,
Whatever
it
he
depends on
wants.
who it
Surprisingly.
is. It really does. It depends on who it is, who you're
Right.
with. You know, it's there's a
Mhm.
lot of factors that go in there. But I know on Second Life,
Mhm.
I mean, just to be a little scandalous, that it is
Ooh, yes.
very common in Second Life, and I think it's
Mhm.
good that people use Second Life as a platform to explore these feelings, just
mhm.
as long as they're not using it
Mhm.
as a platform to explore these feelings at the expense of other people. Because I
Someone
think that
else, yeah.
easily it can be forgotten that there are other people on the side of these
Totally
screens.
agree.
There's
And yeah.
Mhm.
such a
And
dark aspect of polyamory in that there's a lot
yeah.
of predators that hide in our community, and that's what they want. They call it poly, or they call themselves, just like in the BDSM community. There's doms and daddies that, quote unquote daddies, that disguise themselves in that way, but really they're just abusive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
Did you
Yeah.
guys see? I didn't know we would be talking about this, but I saw a documentary of this couple that met off of Second Life, and they were into this like daddy, like
hmm
this. Do you know what I'm talking about,
yeah, and he was like
Tokyo?
walking her on a collar.
Yeah, and but he was
No, I
abusing
didn't see
her.
that. I want
Oh
to.
Oh,
my
wait
He
god.
was
until you
stepping
see
on
it.
her. He was like
He
kicking
was
her,
hurting
and
her. He was hurt,
yeah.
and she had left
Oh my
her.
god, can I trade places? No,
No, you
I'm
don't want to. You don't
Is that
want
an
to.
OnlyFans?
It was so scary, and like Tokyo just reminded me of it because he
But
just
did she like it?
no. Well, she thought she did because I think emotions and mindset play such a big part that we don't always think about.
Yeah.
And I think that she thought she was expressing her sexual freedom, and at the expense of that she left behind her husband and her family. I think it was maybe
hmm
back in Australia, and I think she went to the UK,
Oh my
and
god.
he
Yeah.
ended up, I think, as a dom, and someone who was in that position, he abused that, and then he actually, I don't even think, looking back at the documentary, I don't even think he knew what he was doing. and
Right. Yeah.
and then he ended up being very abusive, and then she,
hmm
towards the end, like the producers like had to step in and be like, are you like
What the
do you
fuck?
need help, like are
Yeah.
you okay?
hmm
Mm.
because she was like getting mentally just.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
crazy it's a crazy thing, but yeah, you're
Yeah.
totally right. There's such a dark side if you're not
Yeah.
careful.
We gotta
You
play
know.
it safe out there, guys. Be safe.
You
Know
got
the
to be safe,
rules.
but at the same time, I mean, I'm from the era of gays who, whenever I turned 18, I met with so many strange men off the internet that
Mm.
Oh, that's really nice.
I'm surprised I'm still here. You know, so you gotta be safe, but you do have to take whenever you're exploring, especially an alternative lifestyle. You do have to take
Mhm.
risks too.
So, real quick, I just kind of want to turn the
You
page
have to take
here
risks.
because I want to talk about the good side of love and friendship and Second Life too.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
And
Let's do
I
that.
Not the
really
rape
just
side.
yeah,
not the
because
rapey.
Rapey.
I just feel like I want to, especially it being your Valentine episode, I want to just express
Yes.
how it is so nice to be able to come on to a platform and meet such amazing people from
Yes.
around the world and just,
Thank
be able
you.
to relate to
Just
them
kidding.
and just like,
No,
and
it's true.
bring
Val's
back
from
some of
Sweden.
the humanity into this because
Right.
it's like it's a great place to also share in friendship and in love.
Yeah, and I also think like one of the most beautiful things about SL is that it connects you to people that you obviously would never be able to connect to, and in certain ways that you're not focused on doing stuff. It's not like, oh, we're going to go to the movies or we're going to go do this or whatever activity. You take the time to actually get to know people, and
Mhm.
friends become family, like just as
Mhm.
important as
Mhm.
family. And um those are some of the best kind of friendships and relationships that you kind of cultivate as time goes on, and there's nothing you wouldn't do for them.
Yeah,
Like
Mhm.
as much as Nesto and I joke, at the end of the day we are such good friends that if we ever needed each other like in real life for anything, like it wouldn't
Mhm.
be weird to ask.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And I
yeah,
think I think when you find friends that are like that, it's just so special and it's something to for sure hold on to. So Valentine's Day can also be about celebrating those relationships, not just.
Yeah, in Mexico, it's called like Dia del Amor y la Amistad. Like love and friendship is the day for that. It's not just romantic, passionate love. It's also for just in
ooh, I
general.
love that.
Yeah, and and so I definitely am glad that I get to be here to say thanks to all of my friends and people who support me, even when I'm being a little, like reserved in my
Oh,
world. But
everyone's
I
got those
appreciate,
days.
yeah, I appreciate everyone that has gotten a chance to know me on this platform.
And some of them are here if you want to give them
Oh
a shout out
yeah.
too. Some of them
To
are
all
in
my
here.
friends. Okay, so I was nervous and I called upon my friends to kind of like be there to support me. And so
She
I
was
want to
smoking
say
crack before the show.
so Jim for, coming, and True from she's the owner of Lemony, which I'm wearing her dress, by the way. It's at where level, I think. And then,
She's not a
Mr.
sponsor. Don't say
Showman.
that. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Mr. Showman, and then of course Remy Clementine.
And we
Hey,
And
I love that
Lottie. I
bear.
don't
Is
know if
that the
she's
Snuggles
there.
bear?
Oh, yeah. I think she's got a bear.
Snuggles.
only you can make that sound creepy, Nesto.
Right. It's like, yeah.
No, but we love when people bring their friends, and like eventually I think we're experimenting with the idea of opening up the studio to have like certain audiences or certain private audiences while we
Mhm.
have like the podcast going on. But we always encourage our guests to like bring their friends and listen in, and it's also comforting, like you have your tribe, your people. It's
Mhm.
Yeah.
always fun.
Hey,
Buck already
that's
knows
what.
us, so he
Yeah,
can.
well, and like that's what I was gonna say. I've been playing Second Life since so I'll be 28 this year, and I've been playing this game since I was 13, and it got me through high school as one of the
Wow.
only gay people at school. Like, and I have a friend that I met on the teen grid when we were teenagers, and we still talk every single day. You know,
Wow.
Second Life's the best for that, because I think what you said really brings the truth, is that you take the time to really get to know people on a level
Mhm.
that you might not get to know them in person. I've had many friendships in
So
real
true.
life. I've had many friendships in real life that were superficial, like especially whenever I was um out in like the bar scenes and stuff, and those friendships can be very superficial,
Yeah.
especially among
Mhm.
gays, girl.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Um
What
I mean,
about
it's
love,
true.
Buck?
Even
What about
even the
love?
gays that are watching this are
Yeah,
like, yeah, girl, that's true. Like,
But there's a
there's
lot of
not.
experiences that, for those of you who haven't watched our previous episode with David Heather, just real quick, he talks about his experience of having a family on SL and what that meant for him as a gay man, having that
Mhm.
camaraderie and um,
Mhm.
just that connection to get you through some stuff that you might not be able to have in
Mhm.
real life. And you know, in real life, I've learned as I've gotten older that the
A lot
superficial
older.
friends, the superficial friends, you know, I found myself recognizing how shallow my friendships kind of were. And that I found
Mhm.
myself being like, you know what, I really want to like jump online and like talk to my friends there because I felt like they just kind of knew more.
Right.
yeah.
And
Mhm.
I think that's really common with people that they can form those connections, and it means a lot, you know.
So should we
Um,
talk about
Yeah.
love, Vale? Do you have a
Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk about love.
well, let's
let's
Let
talk
me
talk
about
about
ask
what.
love.
you.
Is
Mhm.
for
Let me ask this question. Let me ask this question. Like, do you think like an SL relationship is healthy, and can it work, and what circumstance? You know what I mean? For both of y'all. That's a question for both of y'all. Start with you, Tokyo.
It's rough. It is rough.
It's
I
rough
am
and
gonna
not
tell
in a
you,
good way.
it's not easy. It's totally possible. And
Mhm.
I'm in a relationship right now that like I
Mhm.
wouldn't I mean I've been in it for a while. Like we've been together since 2016. I want to say now
Mhm.
in SL, and
Mhm.
it's you know, we've had um you know, times where we weren't together and where we thought like this was not going to work, and it's just too difficult, the distance, times, stuff like that. But I think that if you really love the person, and I don't think that there's any kind of like distance or time zone or any kind of thing that can keep you apart.
I
And
agree.
Mhm.
that's what we have now. We figure it out, and
Mhm.
um I'm very happy. And I just like, I know that I was on this like polyamory platform and everything, but um it is
If
possible
you weren't
to.
happy, would you say it on the podcast right now? I'm just kidding.
I would. I'm an open book.
Put a
I'm
yellow
an open
dress
Can
on
book.
you
if you're unhappy.
can you tell him right now that you're not happy?
No way. I'm very happy. I think I'm happier than even when we first met, which is
If you're
That's
not
crazy.
happy, blink
awesome.
twice.
Because you know, when you first meet someone, they're like on their best, you
Mm,
know, and I was too. And now
behavior.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Right.
just as time has
You don't
progressed,
even fart around somebody in like the first month.
yeah, exactly. So you turn it into like,
You turn the
I
mic
I
off.
seriously, I grew up with this man, you know, like I
Right.
grew up from being in my 20s and being, you know, like kind of a really wild spirit, to maturing
Mhm.
into actually learning about what it means to be committed to someone. And a lot of it is thanks to him. And so, yeah,
That's
Yeah.
I just,
awesome.
you know,
What are your Valentine's Day plans? Do you guys have any?
It's kind of difficult with our schedules, but I'm sure we're going to spend some time, do something, maybe watch something online or talk or any number
Yeah.
of things. But we've already taken pictures and stuff. So, yeah.
So we can look forward to those. Are you going to share them?
Yeah. Yeah, I will. I'll be posting them on my Flickr, and yeah, like, he has some good pictures of us too, actually. His inspiration comes a lot from movies, and 'cause he's like a director, photographer, and like writer in real life. So
Oh, nice.
Nice.
yeah,
Val
so
does
So
none of
he's
those
he's
things.
creative as well.
oh my God, he taught me everything I know, like
That is so cool.
about lighting and yeah, photography on here. So yeah, if you like want to link his
Yeah, for
profile,
sure.
I'll let you know what that
We'll
is
link the inspiration down
like.
below.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. For,
Yeah,
for like a $5
I'm
fee.
very freaking lucky to have met
Subscribe.
so many people
Subscribe.
that
Yeah, no. I think when you
help.
find someone that you really connect with, it is lucky. And I always say, like, there's no point in limiting, because you can make anything happen. The world is a very big place, but like it's also not that big, you know? And if you
Yeah,
really want to
You just said
make
the
a
world's a big
connection.
place and it's not that big.
No, I said, but it really isn't though. Like if you think about it, like
No,
what
it's
is
really
it?
not. It's way smaller than you think it is.
So
Exactly.
it's either big or it's not big.
Well, it's big in some ways and not big in others,
Neto said,
All of
"Fuck medium."
it's a paradox.
All right, Buck. What is your answer to that question?
What was the question?
I don't remember because it was
I
a
don't
while
know.
No,
I
ago.
I
haven't
want to
smoked
know
one,
because I
so
know you. I know you, Buck, are a very liberated, free
Slutty.
spirit. Well, just
Oh,
I
yeah,
wasn't gonna
liberated.
say a
Yeah, okay.
slut,
I'm
but
not a
Buck,
Sorry,
slut. I
liberated.
just
thank you,
I just enjoy myself,
and I think
and
that's
that's
important.
it.
No shaming
Yeah.
Yeah.
here. But what are your
Yeah,
plans
no
for
shaming.
Valentine's Day?
Bitch, I'm gonna stay home and chill
Love
out and watch a
yourself.
movie. Yes.
Good. I think that's what I think that's the
What are your plans? I mean, do you guys have
best.
plans?
Honestly,
You
I don't
can't turn this
even.
around, Tokyo. Don't turn this around.
I'm probably
I
gonna play
know.
World of Warcraft. That's probably what.
I'm
Let
Tokyo's
me
just
like
check.
flipping
curious.
the script.
Buck
I
is
just want
lonely. He's
to
gonna be
know.
on World of Warcraft.
Let me check my schedule. Yeah, that's a
If
Sunday. I'm gonna be
anybody
off.
wants to TP Buck while smashing his furniture, just hit up Buck. And he's glad to watch y'all.
Valentine's Day used to be my least favorite holiday next to New Year's Eve because I always felt like
Oh,
there were expectations on
So
those
lonely.
days.
yeah.
Look, so I
Yeah,
know that
right.
this is like
She's
the
so
I
lonely.
know that people think that
Such.
this is like the bitter heart standpoint, but I really do think that
This
it's
has
a
been a
little
bitter
bit of like
podcast,
a
by the way.
I really think that it's a little bit of like a what's the word? Like a corporate holiday. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
Oh
corporate. I
my
just think
god,
what?
I was waiting for Cub to bring in the corporateness. Can we
look,
It's
not
a
be
okay,
bitter
cash
so
about
grab.
Valentine's?
look, you know that I'm
You
look,
know what? Fuck
I just don't
love
want to get
and
us
fuck
too far off
marriage.
topic, but you know I'm
It's
sassy about
corporatism.
stuff.
Listen. Are you single, Buck? Are you single
Oh,
right now?
you don't have to answer that, Buck. You
No,
don't.
you do. You do.
No, he
This is
doesn't.
Yes, I am. What?
so. Can we link your Facebook so anybody who is single
No.
and gay,
Oh my
can
Now
you
you're
hit
gonna
god.
match make on your
uh, can
podcast.
you,
Oh
yeah,
my
we're gonna do that
god.
for you. And
Send
then
him
the
a
next
rose
time we have
emoji if
you,
you're interested.
Oh my
yeah,
god.
next time we have you,
It'll be The Bachelor and with me as the Bachelor.
Hmm. We're gonna have you back so you can tell us how many
Um,
rose emojis you got in your
Look,
DMs.
the truth is, and like I something I'm learning as I get older
Buck is
is
single and he makes no money, guys. Hit him up.
look, something that I'm learning as I get older is that there ain't a
Mhm.
soul alive that will ever love me as
Mm.
much as I love myself.
You
Oof.
say it, Buck. You preach.
Say it
We
one more time.
You
Can you say it for one
preach.
more time?
For the
Go ahead,
kids
go,
in the
go.
back.
Go ahead, Buck. Say that one more time. Because we didn't hear it.
Oh,
No.
there is nobody that will ever love me as much as I love myself. And that's the truth, because
Yeah.
the thing is that
So true.
you gotta love yourself, like,
Oh
Yes.
God.
That's where it
and
Here we
starts.
I
go.
treat
You know
It's
myself.
what?
true.
I'm so
I
glad
will
you
treat
brought
I
that
treat
up.
myself better than any man could ever treat me,
Mm-hmm.
and I find fulfillment in myself.
He's saying that with like
Like,
horns in his head.
they're antlers. Thank you.
No,
They're
it's
the
true.
They're
And
antlers, bitch.
for those who are not in a relationship and are single, either in or
Buck.
both SL and RL, take the day to just show yourself some love. Just do something nice for yourself. Because I
or
think
just pretend
everyone's
that it
worth
doesn't
loving like
exist.
that.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Look,
Just
it's
masturbate
Ignore
and
it.
cry.
it's so important, and I'm so glad Buck brought it up. Like self-love is we're in deep need of that as well, because you can't find someone to love you and respect you the way you deserve if you don't do that for yourself as well.
Self
Hell
love
yeah.
meaning what? Like pleasure or like
Mm.
buy yourself
All
a
of the
pizza?
It's whatever you
above.
want it to be, Nesta.
Well, and even
Nesto's
especially with like
confused.
the pandemic, because people have been
Yeah.
home
Yes.
I
so
don't
much.
self love.
But you know what? I really feel like Second Lifers,
I'm famous. I
we
don't
were
self
prepared
love.
for this pandemic.
Oh
Like,
yes.
I
Oh, we were
definitely
so
think,
prepped.
yeah, like I definitely think that Second Lifers have
All the
probably
dildos
had
were
an
lined up.
easier time
Yes.
than, well, I just mean that we've had an easier time than some people that weren't used to, or they don't have the connections that we have with people that you can just talk to at
Yeah.
home, you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
this virtual space where you could just come and hang out, like, you
Mhm.
know.
You know
So
what? You
true.
made an interesting point. You made an interesting point, Buck. Like we are in a pandemic, so everybody's looking to VR, virtual reality, and that Second Life people are like, we already have a social medium. There's, you know what I mean? It's so healthy because like we're not suffering from like a social, you know what I mean? Like a,
Yeah, we're not losing the.
Constrictions.
and the thing
We're
is, you
not
made a
really.
good
I mean,
point. Is
we're all.
restriction, yeah.
It's not like the only thing in our lives is Second Life. You know, obviously, all of
Mhm.
us would probably like to go out and do something in real life too. But at the end of the day,
Right.
I think that it's helped us be safer in a happier way because we already had this medium, you know. And if anybody, and for
Mhm.
anybody who's joined it, I hope that they've, you know, discovered something about themselves that is awesome, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
So I
love Second Life.
I just love
I
we
just love it.
Are there
Love you too.
are there any closing words? Because we're about to wrap up the show, and I want to
Mhm.
hear.
So let me start with Buck, like
Okay,
Buck,
Buck.
and then we'll go to Tokyo. Buck, is there any closing words that you like to say to your supporters and people who are invested in M&M furniture?
Okay. Well, I just have to say that over the past
Infinite.
year, if I could
Infinite.
say anything over the past year, my life has changed because
Mhm.
of the support of the Second Life community,
Yeah.
and I can do nothing but be thankful for it
You can
because
cry,
it
cry.
is. I probably could, and I have actually cried over it before.
Do it.
Because the truth
We
really
need
is
views.
that
You're sick.
Mhm.
there's nothing better than knowing that there is a community out there who supports something that you're doing with
Mhm.
yourself
Yeah.
and has really helped change your life in the best way. I've never done Second Life as much as I did in the past year, and it's just been such a
Mhm.
fun time, and I'm looking forward to 2021.
And
And
Yes.
as your friends too,
yeah.
we've got to see you grow, even just a little bit
Mhm.
in like the last couple years. Like you've done so well. You've listened to feedback from your peers, from the community,
Me.
and you are really giving SL stuff that's been missing. Um,
Mhm.
in
I
terms of
do
like
what
games
it
and
do.
furnitures and all that stuff. You're just
Mhm.
really great, and we love you for that for sure.
So, end of the day,
Yeah.
go shop at Infinite Furniture. Furniture
Man,
with
biggie.
class.
With class.
And furniture with class. All right, Tokyo. You
4
just say.
hours of
So
class.
what? 4 hours of class. So, Tokyo, what can you say to the people that love your blogs and invested in your brand and
Yeah.
everything you do?
Uh, I just want to thank them all. I mean, I don't even, I didn't even feel like I should be here because there's so many amazing bloggers, photographers, and people that contribute to the community. So for anyone that follows me, my friends, even the people that I've maybe had a falling out with, I just want to like wish everyone love
Name
and
them.
Oh,
prosperity in this year and just happiness. And I
yeah.
just like I'm just so grateful for this community and the people in it. And thank you for making me better.
Oh, you're sweet.
Love
Awesome.
that.
Look
You
how
know what?
sweet
I like to
she
close the show.
was.
Thank
You
you.
guys, you two
Oh,
guests, I love you two together. And I
same.
hope you guys have a beautiful Valentine's baby. I hope you guys,
Stop
What?
saying
like,
times.
Tokyo, get rid of your boyfriend and then date Buck
No,
and
no.
Break
then
up
have
with your
sex.
boyfriend, cause I'm
Yeah,
bored.
You know,
Uh, and that's the end of the show, crooks. I love you guys.
I love you
And bye
guys too.
bye. Everybody say bye bye.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.